Good Friday. And I mean, it's another good Friday. Hey, good afternoon, everyone. And welcome to the Friday edition of the 10 Commandments of Leadership. We've come to the end of a week, and this is an exciting time for us. This is where, here on this show, the 10 Commandments of Leadership, we tackle ego-holism, not as a destination, but as a lifelong journey of recovering. Today, it's going to be a little bit different because we're going to dive into a powerful piece that I read earlier this week by Tony Robbins. And Tony Robbins outlines for us 7 daily habits of successful people. If you're one of these people that wants to be successful or more successful, please pay close attention. Now, what struck me most was this. Every single one of these habits aligns with the spiritual and leadership journey of a recovering ego-holic, like me, like you. So let's walk through these together, okay? Habit number 1, prime your mind. Prime your mind. Start each day intentionally. Think through what you're doing and why. Think through what you're doing and why. As I always say, I don't set the world on fire. I can't set the world on fire. Instead, I set myself on fire and ask the world to come watch me burn. That's my daily mantra. When you prime your mind, you set the stage for your soul to act in alignment with your mind. Habit number 2, be a lifelong learner. Be a lifelong learner. Tony Robbins says to devour books, articles, podcasts, and anything that stretches you. Now, let me add to that list of reading materials that of audiobooks. Audiobooks. I read a survey once. I was made aware of a survey once of the power of audiobooks. It said, I think it was a study done by the University of Southern California, that said if you're in an urban area or an area in which you travel more than 20 minutes to and from work, if you listen to audiobooks or audio tapes, it said that within 3 years of that, you will have earned 2 years of college credits. If you listen to audiobooks, audio tapes at the time, shows how old that research was, but audiobooks, you will in 3 years gain 2 years of college knowledge, of college credits. There's virtually everything that you want to learn or read is available on audiobooks. Now, let me, as an aside, as an author, as a 4-time Amazon best-selling author, let me say that what is amazing to me is the fact that of all the authors out here, only 7% of the authors, according to industry research, convert their print books into audiobooks. When you create an audiobook, what you're doing is creating a piece of reading material that is available and mobile. You can listen to an audiobook while you drive or while you ride or while you do home chores or while you certainly do exercises. There's nothing like, as I think as Zig Ziglar says, have what is called the university on tape. So I would suggest to you that as part of your lifelong learning process, invest in audiobooks. A public library has them. That is one of the best investments you can make as a public library card. Get audiobooks, learn anything you want to learn, or just for just sheer enjoyment. I make it a point to turn my books into audiobooks and suggest that you become patrons of audiobooks. It's a tremendous way to become a lifelong learner. And I'd add this, don't overlook reading from or listening to our elders. Our elders. Some senior citizens may not have the energy, but they've got mental wealth, a wealth of years and experiences and exposures. That wisdom is priceless. Okay. Habit number 3, prioritize your health, your physical health. I personally practice water aerobics and strength training 4 times a week. Typically on Mondays and Wednesdays, I'll do my strength and conditioning class at 8 o'clock. Then after that, I'll go to my water aerobics class and get an hour of water aerobics in. That exercise is valuable to me. And I do that. Why? Because physical discipline fuels spiritual consistency. Physical discipline fuels spiritual consistency. Luke 2:52, arguably one of my favorite Bible texts. It's so favorite of mine that I've turned it into my license plate here in the state of Alabama. Luke 2:52 in the Bible says, and Jesus increased in wisdom and in stature and in favor with God and man. One pastor, Pastor David Aserick, said that in that text, Luke 2:52, is everything you need in life. What does he mean? Is that following the model of Jesus, and this is Jesus when he was a little boy, 12 years old, I believe. It said when Jesus increased in wisdom, which is intellectual development, and increased in wisdom and in stature, which is that physical development, that physical health we're talking about here, and in favor with God, which is spiritual development, and with man, which is social development. All of those are encased within that one text. That's why it is arguably one of my favorite amongst many texts in the Bible. That's a 4-part growth process: mentally, intellectually, physically, spiritually, and socially. It is a roadmap for each and every one of us. Okay? Habit number 4, cultivate an attitude, a mindset of positivity. Recovering from ego-holism means replacing negative thinking with hopeful expectancy. Everything you do should be out of a sense of a move or a thought of positive expectancy. Leadership guru Dr. John C. Maxwell, I love to quote him a lot. He's a role model for me. Once said of Moses and the 40 years that God had him in the wilderness that God develops leaders in crock pots, not in microwave ovens. Woo, that's powerful. Say it again. God develops leaders, you and me, in crock pots, not in microwave ovens. Why? Because healing takes time. But when you lean into your positivity, you speed up the process. Okay? Habit number 5, build strong relationships. Build strong relationships. Leadership is not about title or pay grade. It's about influence. Never forget that. I say that often, and I mean it. And influence grows through connections. Translation, that's leadership. That's relationships. Whether it's family, colleagues, or with your truth tellers, your recovering depends on who you walk with. Who you walk with. Habit number 6, set clear goals. A goal is a dream with a deadline. I taught my daughter that line when she was very young, and she can say it now. When I'm speaking to college students or high school students, I ask them, I said, how many of you are basketball fans? They all raise their hand. Who's your favorite player? And most of them say LeBron or SGA, which is Shea Gilgeous-Alexander or Steph Curry, what have you. And so I'll say, we'll be in a classroom or in an auditorium, and I'll ask them, I said, okay, in this classroom, in this auditorium, how many baskets can LeBron James score? And they look at each other with that quizzical look. And they'll say, someone will say, none. And I'll say, why is that? Because there ain't no baskets in here. What's another word for basket? A goal. I said, you can't, that's right. You can't score unless you have a goal. Yeah, they got the point. You can't score unless you have a goal. Once again, a goal is a dream with a deadline. You can't succeed if you don't define your success. And habit number 7, embrace failure. This is a good one. Robbins encourages us to see our failures as fertilizer. See our failures as fertilizer. I say it in number 5 of my 10 commandments of ego-holics and recovering. Turn your bitter lemons not just into bitter lemonade, but into the best, which is lemon meringue pie. That's step number 5 out of my 7 steps for ego-holics and recovering. Robbins says it, turn your failures into see them as fertilizer. And finally, Robbins reminds us that success is a journey, not a destination. Success is a journey. It's a process, not a destination. That's why I use the term ego-holism recovering, not recovery, because recovering is an action verb. It's a present participle verb, recovering. It's an ongoing process. I am still recovering in my ego. I'm still recovering from bad habits. I'm still recovering from mistakes. I'm still recovering. I'm not there yet. I've not reached that destination. Success is a journey, as is recovering, not a destination. You see, egoholism is not something that you can solve. It's something that you manage, like you manage your hair, like you manage your front lawn, like you manage cancer or diabetes. Recovering, as I said, is a present participle. It's active, living, it's breathing. That's the process that I'm in. That's the process, in fact, that we're all in. So if you're listening today and you're discouraged because you're not there yet, don't worry. There is no there. There is only here. There is only the here and now. And God's grace meets us right here in the middle of our journey. I'm Tim Alston. I'm a leadership strategist. I'm a recovering egoholic and a co-journeyer with you in this egoholism recovering walk. Join me again next Monday for more tools, more truths, and more transformation. Until then, keep recovering, not performing. Keep recovering, not performing. And you will make it far beyond your wildest dream. Take that first step. One of my favorite quotations is from a journalist from Scotland. Actually, he was a shepherd named W.H. Murray. And he says, concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there is one elemental truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and wonderful plans. And that is this: the moment that one makes that first step, providence moves too. A whole string of incidents issues from that decision, raising in one's favor all manner of incidents, meetings, and material assistance, which no man could have dreamt would have come his way. But it begins by not just thinking or planning, but by making that first step. And those steps will lead to other steps, and you will then develop those habits that Tony Robbins talks about and that ego-holic recovering talks about. Making that first step to become successful and fruitful. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And if anything I've said has been inspiring, has been encouraging, has been informational to you and inspirational, please like, share, and subscribe. Share with a friend. Share it with them replay it over and over again if this has had any meaning to you. And I look forward to seeing you next week in the 10 Commandments of Leadership. Have a great weekend. I promise you I will.